Pain is the brain telling the body that there's danger, and you need to listen to that pain, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something good for the body.
Wow, okay.
Welcome to Business Impacting the Space Coast, the podcast keeping you in the know on small business in Brevard County. Business Impacting the Space Coast is sponsored by Ideal Impact Media, your partner in video marketing and brand storytelling.
Today, I'm here with Rebecca from Transformational Healing in Brevard. Rebecca, you're a massage therapist. Now, I've heard of Swedish massage and deep tissue massage, but you have more tools in your tool belt than that. Tell us a little bit more, what does all that mean and kind of what's available to people these days?
Well, the difference between the different modalities isn't as important as the effects that each of the modality provides. One of the common misconceptions about deep tissue is that you have to do heavy pressure, and that's partly the industry's fault. In school, we learned that deep tissue means you go harder, you press harder, but in actuality, I can interact deeper into the tissues with negative pressure using cupping, which is like suctioning the tissue up. I can also interact deeper into the tissues using a technique called craniosacral therapy, which is only 5 grams of pressure, which is like the weight of a nickel. And I can interact all the way down to this spinal cord and the fluid that pumps up and down from the brain to the sacrum. So deep tissue is actually one of the common things that people call me, do you do deep tissue? And I have to correct them, do you mean heavy pressure? And when they ask that, I say, yes, I do when it's appropriate, but I don't focus on the specific style of massage so much as the problem that I'm helping to solve.
There's affecting the muscle and massaging the muscle, but there's a lot more that can be treated than just the muscle system, the muscles themselves. Tell me more, what else can massage do?
Well, a lot of people aren't aware that there's a connective tissue in the body that runs all the way from head to toe, from skin to bone, and it's called fascia. And this is sort of like the saran wrap that wraps around your muscle, it wraps around all of your organs, it connects everything in your body. And a lot of people don't realize that this fascia in layers in the muscle is actually what gets knotted up and sticky. It's not the actual muscle fibers themselves or the muscle getting knotted up. It's the connective tissue that surrounds that muscle. So myofascial release is another massage modality, and it actually helps to get in there, release the saran wrap around the muscle, allowing the muscle to expand a little bit better, get more blood flow, and helping the body to relax a lot better.
Wow. And so do you need a lot of tools to do this? Is it mostly with your hands? How does that work?
Mostly with my hands. I have a ton of tools. I do have cups that I use. I do have hot stones in case the tissue is really, really sticky. And I need to heat it up to kind of like relax it down a little bit more, but generally just my hands. I have all these tools, and 9 times out of 10, I just do the whole session with my hands.
Awesome. And where do you do this at? What does that environment look like?
I rent a space inside of an acupuncture clinic. I do call it a clinic, but it is a very relaxing space. It's almost like clinic meets spa. I do have hot towels, I do hot stones, I have essential oils when you walk in. It's a very low lit, relaxing environment. And when you leave, there's more of like a natural light. There's not a bunch of fluorescent lights hitting you in the face when you walk out of the room. So it's serene, but also very clinical.
Rebecca, I have had a lot of sports injuries and other things, and I've tried to kind of self-treat with just kind of pressing on it and other things myself. What are the risks that are run by that type of treatment?
That's actually very common, and as a massage therapist, I've done this to myself as well. A lot of people try to self-treat their issues by digging in. There's actually a device, I'm not going to say the name of it because I'm not trying to down the company, but there's some devices out there that will allow you to dig into knots in your back. Some people take hard golf balls and you press up against the wall. The problem with doing that is if you go too hard and you run the risk of damaging the fascia, and anytime you tear or damage any connective tissue, you can create scar tissue, and the body can also create what's called a lipoma, which is like a fatty deposit to protect the area because it's been damaged. I've actually worked on people that did too much trigger point therapy to themselves, and they had all these little fatty deposits on their back because of the damage that they did. So less is more when it comes to that, and a lot of times when you self-treat, you're like, oh, it hurts, but it hurts so good. But pain is not weakness leaving the body. Pain is the brain telling the body that there's danger, and you need to listen to that pain, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something good for the body.
Oh, okay. So how can people get connected with you? What's the best way to get in and see you?
Best way to see me is to check out my website, transformbrevard.com. I'm also on socials with Facebook and Instagram. And I have email, info@transformbrevard.com. And you can also text me as well, and all that information is on the website.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Business Impacting the Space Coast, where Brevard gets down to business. Sponsored by Ideal Impact Media, your partner in video marketing and brand storytelling.